Hey yo, check it out. This is Ras Ajai representing. You don't know from out of the Dirty Rock, aka Claudie Massop from the One Love movie. Yo, I'm Brian Boucher. So watching a man, you're watching the Apex Lifestyle. Make sure so you check out this interview. Gonna be off the chain. Hey yo, don't change your dial. Make sure so you tune in. Tune in. Apex in the law. Ah. So tune in. Apex in the law. Alright. Watch out.
And welcome to the Apex Lifestyles Podcast. I'm your host, Bob GDMD, and I'm here as always with my co-host,
Dennis V. What's going on today, Bob?
We're having a great Sunday. I just got back from Arizona. I was up at Bell Rock, and shout out to Parrish. I was up at Bell Rock experiencing the Vortex. And I think you were over at the Bruins game, right?
Game 1 victory last night. Really good time up there in the rafters. Great time, Bob.
Awesome. So up in the up at the Bell Rock, experiencing the Vortex, right? I had this crazy idea. I want to run it by you. What do you think, Dennis?
Let's hear it.
All right. So I was up there. I was thinking, you know what? In this episode of the podcast, I'd like for everyone who's watching us for the first time and not subscribed, subscribe and then comment subscribe in the comments. We're going to personally answer every single one of you. And then, how about this? How about we give them a chance to win a personalized gift from us?
I love that. Let's do it.
What do you think?
Love it.
You good? All right, cool. So with that, I have the pleasure of, distinct pleasure of welcoming to the podcast a world-renowned Grammy-nominated artist, now a movie star, stepping his feet into the movie industry, and not just in a small way, but a really big way. One of the best producing films of the year so far. I'd like to personally introduce Raz J, artist, reggae artist, dancehall artist, now movie star, and welcome to the podcast.
Give our thanks. Thanks for having me, guys. Mad respect, you know. It's an honor to be here today.
Absolute pleasure. Great to have you. I'm really excited for this.
Thank you guys for having me. This is definitely, something I was looking forward to. So thank you guys for, thank you for the invite. As we had man that said, big up for the self, you see it.
Pleasure.
Yeah,
so Brian, right? You go by Brian or Ras Ajai?
Whichever one. Brian is my birth name, so it's Brian.
Yeah, right. Okay. All right, so your journey from becoming Raz Ajai into Grammy nominated artist, and now you're in the movie One Love, right?
Yeah.
And you're playing Claudie Massop.
Claudie Massop, yeah.
Yeah. So how did you make that change there? How did you go from one thing being a music artist into an actor? And did you have aspirations and hopes to do that?
I think, all right. I think every kid in watching a movie has the aspiration of being on the screen one day, in some way or another. You might have your favorite show or your favorite movie and you wish you were in it. You wish you were a part of that. So that's something that you aspire to. But in terms of realistically, it was never something I'd set out to accomplish. A friend of mine only sent me a casting call for one of the band members for the movie, and I auditioned for that by chance because she sent me the casting call on Instagram, and I sent in a photo, and then I got a response that I should audition some days or a week later. So that's kind of how that came about. It wasn't like I went to acting school. I did some Christmas plays and Easter plays in church growing up, because in Jamaica, that's a rite of passage. Like going to Sunday school, going to church is a rite of passage for most Caribbean kids. So it's just something that happened along the way, and we are really thankful that it did. And we're thankful for Storm, my sister, who had sent me that flyer for the casting call, because if she never sent me that, then all of this wouldn't have manifested in the way that it has, to be honest.
Ras Ajai, it's unbelievable that you don't just hop into an average movie you're in one love about Bob Marley that right now, and I watch a lot of film, that could and should get a Grammy. And then it's not just you snuck into the film, you're in one of the opening scenes and you hear your name, Claudie, and you're ready to go. How did it feel to be on the big screen? And you came out blazing in the first film that you're in.
To be honest, seeing myself on the screen is kind of surreal. To be honest, as in how we Jamaicans put it, as a youth from the ghetto, as a youth from the rougher part of Jamaica, getting an opportunity of this magnitude is something that it's beyond my imagination. We get a chance to represent for one of the greatest musicians of all times. Some sacrifices have to be made in getting this chance because all right, growing up, everybody prays to God or prays to whoever is their religious source. You understand? And you pray asking for an opportunity in life to be able to better your family, to be able to make a mark in life, to be able to leave some lasting impression as a human being, because that is kind of what, being an apex is kind of what you do, living an apex life kind of is about leaving a lasting impression. It's about being an example. It's about being the alpha, being that person that everybody looks up to type thing. So, you pray for that opportunity, and when you're given that opportunity, it's something that you got to grab with two hands kind of thing. You don't even think about it. If sacrifices are supposed to be made, you make those sacrifices knowing that this is a one time, as Eminem would say, you only get one chance to blow, so opportunity comes once, so you got to grab it. So that's kind of what I did. It's not something that I had planned. It's not something that I could say that, oh, it was in the books to happen. It happened, and grabbed it, and we're thankful for every opportunity. We're thankful to the Most High. We're thankful to God for giving us this chance, for giving us life, for giving us the ability to capitalize and the opportunities given. We're able to change our families' standing in society, in life, for the future. So that is something that every man works for. That is something as a man that you try to accomplish.
What a beautiful way to put defining your apex. Thank you so much for that. That was actually a question I was going to ask you later. But you nailed it. You nailed it just now. That's perfect.
Knocked it out of the park. Listen, you attacked that just like you did the movie. You ran with it.
You just have to. That's kind of, it's just like, is there are certain moments that you get put in life. Like, I don't even want to go off track, but there are certain moments that you get put into in life that that you never had squat diddly to do with that. That was ordained. This movie was one of those moments, based on the fact that Never Gary, 1992, he moved to Hollywood from 1992, hoping to tell the Bob Marley story from 1992. This story was not told until 30 years later, 2022. The story started.
Amazing.
Told. So every actor, every person that is involved in this movie wasn't by chance. This was something that was ordained, because persons who weren't even born yet were ordained to be in this movie that are in it now. So it's going to be one of those lasting movies that it starts good, but it's going to get even better over time. More people are going to catch on because the story continues. So, like, it's number 5 now in the top sellers for biopics. It's now top 5 for biopics. So within a couple of months, I can guarantee that still goes up.
Oh, I agree with you. That movie, I saw it the week it was released in the theaters, and it was an emotional movie for me, for sure.
Really?
And the story is amazing. It's an amazing story, and it really is a testament to how much Bob Marley affected the world. Really,
That's true.
so
That's true.
I want to ask you, like, did you know Claudie Massop? Did you know what his history was before you got the role, and how did you study to get ready for that?
I knew some. One of my mentors. One of my mentors was influenced by Claude in terms of his style, his attire. Dean Fraser, who plays saxophone, he's one of the biggest saxophonists across the world. He also manages Taurus Riley. So Dean Fraser wears a bangle on his hand. That he always told me that Claudie Massop wear a bangle around his neck and also on his hand. So it's been something. So I've heard a few stories. You heard, growing up as a youth in the street, you kind of hear the stories. You hear of the gangster side of him, but you don't know about the human being. You don't know about the person. So in getting the role, I made a few calls, just to Dean Fraser, to be honest. He had a good um, outside look on Claudia, so I was able to just listen to his stories and then immerse myself into the character. So to be honest, I never went and did too much research because Dean Fraser was my reference to Claudia Massop, to be honest. So I just listened to what he said. He was like, you look like him. You look
Yeah,
alike.
it's uncanny.
He's like,
It's uncanny, the resemblance. When I did my research for this interview, the resemblance is uncanny. When you were in character in the movie and
yeah.
then seeing pictures of him online, it's like almost looking like it could be his brother.
Nah, it was crazy because when I saw pictures of him and then I saw myself in character, I'm like, how did they? Because before I got ready for the character, my locks was tall, my locks was down to my waist. So I'm looking at it and I'm like, how did they know that I would even look like this man without my locks? Like they were spot on with it. I think the casting crew did an excellent job. So just like I said, I just immersed me. I'm somebody from the streets, so we grew up. You grew up in rough Jamaica, so everybody know how the done is. Basically, everybody know how the done is.
Yeah.
Raz Ajai, how has your life changed since this movie? I mean, what a change from Kingston to Hollywood. One Love. How's it changed?
Well, it's been a roller coaster, but it's also been the same somewhat because being that I do music and I'm around one of the apex artists as well, the person who's top of the food chain in terms of musically out of Jamaica, which is Sean.
Yeah, we're going to talk about him too a little bit later.
Yeah, so you kind of get to experience life at a different level. So coming into my own now, doing it for myself, it's a little bit different when the light is on you as opposed to when the light is on somebody else and you can just hide in the shadows. So now that the light is on me, I find that all right, it requires more time, it requires more discipline, and also just being outside, just being available to do the work. So that's kind of the difference.
Yes. So talking about doing the work, how do you balance discipline, right, and trying to enjoy life, and how does that fit in with living a healthy life and being like present in your life, right? Putting those things together is something we talk a lot about here at our podcast, and putting in the work is important, but also like being able to enjoy the fruits of those labors is also important too.
In anything you do, balance is important. So just like I'm a actor now, just like I'm an artist, I'm also a son. You get what I'm saying? So that is how I look at life in terms of like I'm somebody's son. Sorry, this thing is shifting. I'm also somebody's son. So for me, I look at life in that regard. Like, I get to do it. I get to do it from that perspective. Like I'm somebody's son. I'm somebody's father, I'm somebody's brother. So if I look at life from that perspective, then I can't be out of line. So I won't just be one thing. Like I'm not just, my career is not who I am. I am who, my career is a part of who I am. It's not what defines me. So the things I do are not what define. The person I am is what defines. So that is how I find my balance.
Raz Ajai, Claudie Massop's role in Bob Marley, One Love's bridges history and storytelling. How does it feel to contribute to Bob Marley's legacy, and what message do you hope viewers can take away?
The power of love. The power of love of your God. The power of love for family and for people. Because what are we here for? What is your purpose? That was what Bob was basically saying. He's trying to fulfill his purpose. So that was a major thing for Bob. And it was fulfilling his purpose was top of his list, was top of the agenda, was paramount of what he was trying to accomplish. He was trying to understand his mission, and that is what is.
All right, so I wanted to talk a little bit about Sean Paul. You just did you just do a collaboration with him?
I just dropped a project. I'm on his label. I'm signed to his label. I'm signed to the Dirty Rock. So that's something that been a blessing. Being able to work with Sean. So he releases productions for me from time to time. There are productions that we have from time to time that he releases. So that's something that we're thankful for.
Yeah. So as I understand it, are you planning a tour with Sean Paul?
I'm heading out on tour with him. We have certain dates that we'll be on stage. We don't know which one it's going to be as yet in terms of, we're going to perform here. But we know that on selected dates, we're going to be performing. So it's just, we're there for tour support. We're there for support. So if the boss is on the road, then I'm on the road too. So that is how it is. So
Oh,
it's
that's
family.
fantastic.
You got to support the family once the family is outside.
Yeah.
And I know that he's coming to Boston. It must be nice for you, your backyard.
Well,
Randolph's from the backyard of Boston. How does that feel?
I'm looking forward to that. I haven't performed in Boston as yet. I've performed in Rhode Island. So I'm looking forward to performing in Boston with him. So that is something that I'm hyped about. I'm looking forward to it on the next level. So it's a vibe to be out on the road. Let's go. That's the type of time I'm on right now.
Yeah. So let me ask you. You grew up in Jamaica,
Yeah.
right? How did you start in music? Right, you're this young kid in Jamaica. Give us a little bit of a backstory on how you grew up, and how. And I know you talked about being in, doing choir in church and things like that. Was that really the start? Is that what caused you to want to be an artist?
I saw my adopted father and mother. My adopted mother, she used to sing a lot in the kitchen. My adopted mother used to sing a lot in the kitchen, so that's something that I grew up with and seeing. So that kind of inspired the artist side, making me want to sing. So that started me going to sing in church type thing, and then singing in church, you kind of experience how people reacted to your vocals, reacted to you performing. So, being, I guess, it all started in church in terms of wanting to make an impression, knowing the value of your voice and the quality of your voice. So, understanding of being an artist, understanding of performing, and everything started in church. So I guess that's where I can say, it's somewhat developed in seeing the power of what I can accomplish. So then do this. I think I started writing. I had an ex-girlfriend at the time. I had flew out of Jamaica for a time. So I'd written a couple letters to her, but then I wasn't going to send those letters. So I started using the letters over beats. I realized they came across as songs type thing. So I started putting melody to them. So that's how my songwriting really started, to be honest.
So were those letters like poems?
It was like poems, in some sense. So then, I was able to put melody to them and transfer them over into songs, because most times I don't have a style in terms of, I would say, like a right to rhyme, like a rhyming scheme. Or so it will happen at times, but then there are times where I just express a feeling, an emotion, or just express that raw vibe that I'm seeing. So it's not so much like a poem, but maybe it was, maybe it wasn't. You never know.
Who were the artists growing up that inspired you, that really got you moving in this direction?
I would say Sizzla Kalonji. Sizzla is one. I'd say Bojo Banton is one. I'd say Beres Hammond. I'd say Otis Redding. I'd say Sam Cooke. I'd say Luther Vandross. Um, Sade is really one of my favorite singers. Like, Sade gets it. Boys to Men is that group for me. Like, growing up, I remember being in primary school and we're lip singing Boys to Men songs and performing like we're singing the song, movements and all of that. So, there are a couple artists that inspire the creative flow if you really sit down and,
Wow, that's so cool.
Yeah, Boys to Men, they were early '90s. They really jumped in the scene, and still, if you hear them today, they sound just like they did 30 years ago.
that's true. But that's the thing. That was talent. That wasn't that wasn't based off marketing. That wasn't based off numbers. That was based off talent. Um, you kind of I I follow the old school style of music because the persons who I roll with, the persons who I emulate, the persons who influence me, they're from the old school. So I kind of try to rob a little bit or borrow a little bit from that, you know. And then, funny enough, Sean, even way before I met Sean has always been an influence in terms of just his approach, not being somebody who Jamaica and a whole. Sean is the underdog. So you guys see Sean as a superstar out of Jamaica. Sean is the underdog out of Jamaica. Sean is that kid that wasn't expected to be at the level that he's at. So, that's kind of one of the major influences neatly that, even more that I've come to appreciate and I've come to respect even a little bit more, knowing his story from the inside. Saw it from the outside, but now seeing it from the inside, you kind of have way more respect.
What lessons have you learned from Sean Paul that is kind of giving you that fire in your belly to keep moving?
Consistency. Stay consistent. Even with being at the top of your game, stay consistent, stay hungry. It's that hunger. When you see Sean pull up to the studio and record 6 songs, I know that I have to do 12. I know that I have to do 18 for that day. Some days, well, for me, 12 is easy, to be honest. 12 is light work. So, you have to go harder than him. So, if he comes in and he's like, how many songs you did already? And you're like, I'm like at 8. It's like, well, all right, cool. Goes in and puts in that work and he's like, yo, I just finished like 10. Like, all right, I got a couple more to finish. So, that's how we challenge each other. You have an ex-artist, Ching Ching. Ching will go in and put that work in. Ching will put a 7 song in. A Soto Bless will go in and put some work in, just the same. So it's a camp of artists that challenge each other like, yo, it's not slow brains. It's not people that need writers at the end of the day. So it's people who are, the creative juices are flowing. So they're gonna go in and do it. So Sean is that person who shows you that consistent. You have to beat this thing consistently. You have to be, and just be a nice person. Like, your spirit, your spirit have to be good. Like in real life, your spiritual aspect of an individual has to be in a good place. I think that's something that, without saying. I think he leads by example in that regard, in terms of he tries to ensure that good karma is something that he tries to receive. So even if he's upset, he's gonna try and approach a situation knowing that, all right, he doesn't want bad karma to. So these are things that you kind of, as a kid from the harsher part of the society, you come around this and you get to appreciate this part of the person, because you're like, all right, this is something I need to aspire to. This level of peace, this level of consciousness, even though you're conscious and you're on a different level of consciousness, but this is something that, all right, you know, you realize, like I said, consistently you have to be at this level to attract what you want and to manifest the things you want.
Well, and you're definitely attracting those things.
Well, true.
Getting ready to go on this tour. One Love. I'm going to throw two names at you. I was a very big reggae fan growing up in the day. Two artists that used to come out this way quite a bit. Number one, Yellow Man, and number two, Shabba Ranks. Where do they stand in your list?
All right, so Yellow Man is always the king of dancehall, as we know. Shabba Ranks is the emperor. I had the pleasure of meeting. Well, I've met Yellow Man, I've met Shabba Ranks. I had the pleasure of meeting both of them. That's one of the things that I've appreciated more than even my stardom, is getting that pass, getting that accreditation from the elders that you looked up to, that I looked up to. So it's like when I was in studio with Shabba, for instance, and Shabba was like, yo, anytime you step out, them for see you, for me and something Rasta, you for look like somebody, them for remember you. So things like that, you know, it's stuck in your brain like on a different level, that Shabba Ranks right there. You know that 8 gold rings like Shabba? 8 gold rings, so Shabba right there. So, you see, the blessing.
Oh, Shabba was it.
No,
Shabba was
Shabba was that person that brought dancehall outside. So, you know, Shabba is that. So, you know,
and he really crossed over in the mainstream.
he did. He did. So Shabba is that person that you look up to and be like, all right, what kind of happened to Shabba happened to me? Like, where, you know, everybody knows, like, you know, segment of society attacked his career. So, you know, you want to get to the star level, but you don't want to be the target. So you kind of use that as an example, just to see it too, if you know the story.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So Raz Ajai, your roots are in Jamaica.
Yes, man.
Right. It's the land of rhythm and kind of resilience. How would you say that your Jamaican upbringing like influenced your artistic choices and what led you from, you know, Kingston into, you know,
you live dancehall, you live reggae. Reggae is the people's music. It's the music of the struggle. It's the music of the downtrodden. It's the music of hardship, of survival, of spirituality. So you live reggae. Dancehall is the vibe. You live that vibe. So, you know what the vibe is. Once you're in the street, you pick the energy of the streets. All right, so reggae is the music of the struggle, of the people, the downtrodden, the people spiritually, the people's wishes, the people's aspirations, and dancehall is the vibe of the street. So once you're in the street, you know the vibe, what dancehall brings. So, you know, coming from where I'm from, this is not something that you can say that you need to be inspired. You live it. So that's your only inspiration. You know,
yeah.
me even being here, I don't have to be in Jamaica to know what is happening in Jamaica because we're from it. So it's not like I come here and being here for a couple of weeks or a couple of months. It's gonna get better in Jamaica over that period of time. You get what I'm saying? I know exactly how much worse it's gonna get and how much worse it's heading to. So you kind of try to sing the music and sing the songs that you would hope that would touch the heartstrings of the people for change the mindset, for change the direction we're going. And sometimes you do the music that connect with the vibes that the people are into. So that is what dancehall does. Reggae talks to the spirituality, the struggle and the fight. Dancehall speaks to, oh, let's go party, let's go have fun. At times it speaks about struggle and the hardship, but it's about frolic and partying and what we live, the everyday life some of the kids live. So, you know, when you come from that and then you have we are influenced by a whole lot of music, to be honest. Country and West, you don't know, Ear Supply, BGs, Cylindian is God in Jamaica. Cylindian is God in Jamaica. You get what I'm saying? So every household
I
you're
do.
going to, so you have to understand, every household you're going to, you'll hear Cylindian play. That is staple with, so you're influenced by different music. We growing up, Tupac is my artist. Tupac is my goat. So you're influenced by, it's what you connect to. So when you do, so in terms of, to answer your question, all of that in collectivity and having talent and having been to church, having gotten proper voice training, gotten formal choir, being in a choir, all of that now wraps up into, you create your own style. All of the influences now makes you, all right, let's go experiment with a little bit of pop. Let's experiment with being on a hip hop beat. Let's experiment with being on an alternative track. So now you having heard all them sounds over the years. Now you have the opportunity to delve into some of this music. You're gonna take that opportunity. So it's not like you're able to be boxed in. When you're in Jamaica, these music might not have been listened to, or you not have had access to this. No, it's in the influences that you get back home and dive in type thing.
Raz J, if you could collab with any two artists today that are out there, any genre, who would they be?
Damn. Any two. Oof.
Any two? That's a big question.
Yeah, hold
That's the
on.
big one.
Let's give it. All right. All right. Oof. Oof.
Any two
Oof.
artists you could collab with, Raz J,
All
who
right.
would they be?
For one, me that take one of the Drake stimulus package, to be honest. Me the whole of Drake stimulus package, to be honest. Drake is my rapper, so I'd work with a Drake stimulus package. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know where that song would go too. That's big time.
So that is one. Ah, wow. I'd want to cut. All right.
Wow. That's cool, man. That's
Oh,
cool. I would love to see the Green Day one. I would love to hear the Green Day one.
Raj
Wanna
J,
be
Bob
American
is a
and
big rock and roll guy, so wow.
That would be
but
fun.
that's why I said let me go out of the box, because my it's weird. Those two groups are two groups that I grew up on listening. Maroon 5 is even, like, if I want to put Maroon, I'd throw Maroon 5 in there just to add a third in that mix,
Wow.
Yeah,
That's
so
very cool.
Raj J, you know
um,
what's interesting when you cross genres? You look back in, I'm a huge hip hop fan. Bob's a huge rock and roll fan. Who would have thought in the mid 80s that you could have bridged rap and rock together when Aerosmith and Run DMC came together for Walk This
uh,
Way? So
uh,
anything's possible.
but then remember you had hip hop and there's Super Cat and Biggie. So there's always been that because remember hip hop is from reggae. Hip hop is from reggae. It's from dancehall. It's from reggae. So Kool Herc is Jamaican. So he developed that style from coming from Jamaica. So they families. So anything is possible. Like, it's music. If we have the right topic, it's happening.
Yeah.
And to
So
think
cool.
Kool Herc started hip hop in the
Yeah.
Bronx. Straight from Jamaica.
Straight from Jamaica. So that's the and now Jamaica more moves to like the new version of Jamaican dancehall moves more to the hip hop vibe as opposed to that old school book that old school drum and bass that Jamaica had. Now it's more shifting to a trap dancehall where the drum patterns are more hip hop and that that R&B overlay type thing. So
It's evolving. Let me
yep,
ask you, what is so you've been in a hit movie now.
all
You're getting
right,
ready to go on this tour.
yep.
What is some advice you would give to your younger self?
Um, to have had been more trusting of myself. So I'd put it that way. To have had trusted myself a little bit more. Saying that to say a lot of this could have happened a little bit earlier, but out of fear, out of not understanding, of fear of failing was something that weighed heavily on me. But then it's like, what is failure? It's like, what do you constitute as failure at the end of the day? Isn't it another way that you just, isn't it a learning experience? Isn't it something, a learning moment, a part of the learning curve where you understood where it didn't work? One more way that you learned that it didn't work. So, you know, what is failure? So that's where I discovered that, it's what having realistic expectations without expectations kind of thing. So it's like having knowing your limitations. So yeah, knowing your limitations as a man, as a human being, knowing your limitations as a human being, but not having expectations. So this can lead to anywhere. The limit is the sky. So let me put the work that is required in to see where this ride can lead type thing. So for me, it's not been about the destination, but about the journey. It's about the people that I've met along the way. It's about the places that I've been. It's about the people I've been able to touch. It's about the people, that you meet on the street and you get to shake the hand and the congratulations that you get. It's about that encouraging word or that video that you got or that person sending you a picture that they downloaded the song or bought his song or they went and watched the movie. So it's things like that that makes it more worth it, that you say, yes, this is exactly why I did it and not for, because the destination is dead. Is when you transition. The destination is when you transition, to be honest. So the journey is while living. So for me, I'm enjoying the journey. So I don't know when the destination is going to be reached, but I'm on this journey and I'm smelling the roses and drinking and smelling the coffee at the same time. So I'm in the moment, I'm living in the moment as opposed to trying to live in some fantasy.
What powerful words just came out of your mouth. That was amazing. Thank you.
And we Boston Rob, your manager, I've known for quite some time, and when he said that a guy's coming from the movie One Love, played a significant role, you roll in, you're just a humble individual that embraces everybody around you. Where does that come from?
My mentor, to be honest, Dean Fraser. Um, I can, I'm my dad, my adopted father. I can attribute that to the both of them. My father is somebody who is charismatic, like he's a pastor, so he's able to go places and, just interact with people on a star level, on a celebrity level. Dean Fraser has always been that person who if he meets you guys, you're gonna think that you went to elementary with him. You guys grew up like your moms were friends and you used to have play dates together. That is how comfortable he makes you feel. So I've always tried to aspire to be like him in that sense, where I don't want to be having my head on a swivel. I don't want to be that guy. So I come in the room with the energy that I want to receive. So if I meet you, I'm giving you my genuine attention, genuine time, because I would want your genuine time and attention just the same.
That's incredible, and I've lived it when I met you. Your vibe today is just absolutely unbelievable, and there's
Thank you.
no doubt why you are hitting your apex. You hard work, determination, and you even talked about what Bob and I often talk about is individuals hit obstacles along their way. Sometimes there's not just that clear cut path. Raz Ajai, you are living your apex, and sky's the limit. It's just going to keep going, man.
Right, that's it there. Right, that's it there.
Yeah, so amazing. Thank you so much for coming in. You are an unbelievable guest. You gave us a whole lot of knowledge. You gave our listeners a ton of knowledge. One of the things that we want to end with is, where can everyone find you and connect with you and follow you?
It's RASAJAI music on Instagram. RASAJAI on whatever streaming platform you listen music on. Go follow it. Add me to your playlist. I guarantee that when you listen to songs, out of the couple songs that are there, I promise you that there must be, if you listen to all of them, there must be something that is worthy, that is playlist worthy, that you'll say, oh my God, this is a vibe. So, I'm asking for that chance, for that one chance to say, all right, go through and see if you find something that is your vibe, and add it to your playlist. That is my thing, because everything we do won't be accepted by like Bob said, you can please some of the people sometimes, but you can't please all the people all the time. So I'm conscious of that. So, like me say, I must have one song that appeals to to that part of your brain and your heart, and you feel it and you vibe with it and you rock with it. Play it in the car. Something will be there to either inspire you, either to let you hold a vibe, to let you go party. Something is there to talk about, your love. There's music for every facets of life. So check it out. I guarantee you, you're gonna like it. You don't know the thing. Yes, right.
Yeah, you're definitely going to like it. I was playing it all throughout Sedona, the desert, and Phoenix down the past few days, and I had 4 other people in the car, and we were all kind of turned into huge fans over the
Right.
weekend. So
Thank
definitely
you.
go check it out.
Thank you
And
for that, man.
what about your acting future? What do you have any more aspirations or anything that we may be able to see in the
Definitely.
future?
We did some more auditions the other day, so we're waiting to hear back from those situations, hoping that we cop even something in that. Um, it's something that we serious about. We're gonna do some more acting. We're diving into that world. As much as the music is a vehicle, is a top vehicle that we drive. Um, Still every now and again we'll go in the acting vehicle and use it. Enjoy the both worlds. If you get best of both worlds, if you get the opportunity to live a dream. I'm going to live in the dream and reality at the same time. Come on, man.
Yeah, of course. It's amazing.
That's a blessing. So I'm thankful. Thank you guys for having me. You know, it's
Oh,
a
it was
blessing.
our pleasure.
Pleasures are ours. You are on a meteoric rise, and we are just honored to have you today. And you have true fans and people that are going to push you all the way. Because if you don't know who Raz Ajai is, you're going to know who Raz Ajai is real
soon.
quick.
Yeah.
And if you haven't
Mad
seen One
respect
Love
for
with
that, man.
our boy Raz Ajai playing Claudie Massop, you have to check that movie out.
You
He's
have
out there
to.
in the
You don't know,
beginning, and
and
you're
I had
phenomenal.
nothing to. You don't know, and I had nothing to do with this. You must know. I had nothing to do with this. You see it. So if you know, you know. Yeah, Nathan. So go go check it out.
Raz Ajai, Can you, before you get off, give us a couple lyrics from one of your songs?
Now drop your guard when it come to them, ya youth, ya. Them fully guard up and them quick to execute, ya. Now drop your guard when it come to them, ya youth, ya. The one will laugh, I'm same one of the shoot. Tell me who got the air. Well, if you calm down my nerve, but make me fly like a bird. Tell me how who got the air. Tell me how who got the air. Well, if you calm down my nerve, but make me fly like a bird. Yeah, man, you know it go yerba, buena, mi corazón. Go check it out. Thank you very much for having me. Much respect. Rastafari blessings. Let the Most High be your guide. Let the Most High guide you on this road. You know, guidance and protection from your outside. You don't know. Love and manners. All right. All right. That cool.
We're back.
Yeah,
All right.
quick.
That was unbelievable. Thank you so much for that.
Oh, man. Thank you guys for that, man. Genuinely.
And you know, Dennis, I don't know what else to say other than, you know,
It's go time, beyond go time.
go time for sure.